And bam, hey.
That was
Look
so
at us.
funny.
How we doing?
Funny.
I
feel
didn't
like-
go.
I was about to burp and I hit the mute button just in time.
Mhm.
I feel like Milk sensed I was about to sneeze and was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna start it.
No, I accidentally just hit the go live button for a half second instead of a start recording button.
Someone waiting for you to go live gets in. I
Someone
sneeze, we
sitting
end
on the Twitch hears you sneeze, disappears. Yeah.
Sneeze
I
for
will
around the world.
purposefully sneeze next time.
It is a literal, there's a half-second VOD, but it's just you sneezing with this screen up. And it exists before the first episode of this has even been uploaded, so they have no idea what they were looking at.
Extra no context.
Like,
That's
what is
funny.
happening?
That's like our little break noise, like the Law and Order does, like the ba-bang
Oh, no.
sound. That's what it is. It's just you
Mhm.
sneezing a couple times and then it transitions.
Yeah. Exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Welcome in. Hi. We're obviously here now, not live as I almost sent us, but you know, where we usually are on my YouTube, which is, you know, a whole ass place. Yeah. To not, you know, waste too much time on preamble and pre-ramble, we'll get in on all of our usual credits and suspects and whatnot and start getting into things. First and foremost, our maps are brought by a friend of the show, Caesar Volpe, who will be linked down below. These are all going to be linked down below to wherever you can find them. Tom Kartos for various maps, one that you're looking at right now. It's a whole ass manor. It's several floors. The stairs work, but that's not something he did. That's something I did. Someone else made him a module for it. I'm not gonna take that credit. But yeah, and Chain Peku are also map makers for this, who will also be linked down below. Very good, very nice stuff. Otherwise, music brought to us by our very own Chloe, listening to right now. Chloe, say hi. How you been? Up to anything fun lately?
Hey, I'm Chloe, and I've been drawing. I've been crocheting. I've been staring at my birds with love and wonder. That's about all I've been doing. I play Lane. She's really cool. She's very pretty. It's like her only two redeeming aspects.
Damn.
I'm roasted, my poor girl. Yeah, she's having a great time currently. She's totally not dealing with all the inner demons at all. And outer demons. I don't know. Next.
Speaking of outer demons, how's it going? Coin flip. I'm gonna roll a dice. I actually don't have anyone to go into for this one. Very
It's all of
talented.
us.
Toto, speaking of outer demons.
I knew it. It was going to be me. I knew it. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Toto Hex, the smartest science turtle, and your Ocean on H1. I am a turtle VTuber, and I play Shang Sui, who is a head in a crystal ball. And she's kind of greedy. Yeah. She's a penny pinching crystal ball hen.
Hell yeah. Up to anything interesting lately?
I am very sleepy. I had a long day at work. I literally got home like right before we started recording. Yeah.
Speaking of being very sleepy, how's it hanging, Evie?
I knew it.
Well, that one was easy.
Yeah. Hi, I am E. I played the V. I am gay. I'm gonna say that every time now. Speaking of gay, I got complimented on my little lesbian charm on my my purse today by someone with cat ears, which made me so happy. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, I play V. I'm not up to anything new very much. I have Taffy on my desk. That's
Taffy's
cool.
good.
Yeah. Thumbs up. That's it.
Speaking of Taffy, thumbs up. How's it going, miss?
Hi, I'm Miscelia. You can find me on Twitch or YouTube. I am playing Saki, book smart, head empty.
Up to anything fun recently? Anything upcoming?
Just officially started session 1s of my campaign, Mortician's Journal, which
Ooh,
almost all the session 0s should be live now. Thumbs up.
that's exciting. Hell yeah. I phased out and dropped the transition I was gonna use into Connie. So, hey Connie.
Very smooth.
Yeah, that's me.
Hi, I'm Connie or ConCon. Wow, I've forgotten everything about myself.
See, I wasn't the only one.
Like a vortex around you.
Everyone
Canadian,
forgets Connie.
magical Canadian bat VTuber. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter and Blue Sky at ConCon VTube, but I try not to use Twitter, and then I do anyway. And I play Arla, who is your cool aunt.
My cool aunt specifically?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, yours specifically.
Hell yeah.
Good. My aunt's not cool.
Yeah, no, she's speaking to you specifically in the audience. who's
Yeah,
listening
and
to this
everyone
right now.
who's watching this, I don't know if you know this, but Arla is your cool aunt.
Yeah,
hear
you
that,
who is listening to this right now,
David?
it's you.
You hear that, David? It's your cool aunt,
Mm-hmm.
Beth.
David.
Yeah, David.
Mm-hmm.
But not you, Daniel.
Yeah,
Get out of
not
here.
Daniel.
If your name is
You, Daniel.
Daniel,
Why not Daniel?
specifically, get out.
Damn. Daniel, I'm so sorry if you're watching.
Damn, Daniel.
Dan.
And what I've been up to is that I had a good cry about the fact that all of like half of the like solo TTRPGs that I own require tarot cards, and the only box of tarot cards that I want is $55 USD, which is
Oh.
like $200 Canadian.
Oi.
Oh my gosh.
Oi, oi,
That's not hyperbole. Don't call me on that.
I'm not calling you on that. I'm just gonna believe you implicitly and move on. Because that's what friends do. We never question each other on anything.
Ever.
Ever.
Ever. Speaking of never questioning anything ever, hi, it's me. I'm the host, Milk. How's it hanging? You can find me here, the place that you're at currently, or my Twitch, which, hey, you might have, seen this many months ago, for 1/2 second exactly, if you're a crazy person. So congratulations if you're that one random person that probably doesn't exist. I salute you.
Oh, it's Daniel.
It's Daniel.
It is Daniel.
Oh
Why
God.
we don't like you, Daniel.
Why were you just sitting there? I only stream on like Fridays pretty much.
They were waiting. They were excited. And now we're estranging them.
No.
I've been playing all sorts on the Twitch with my good friend Mech as usual. It is continuing to be Fridays and probably will just continue to be Fridays. It's mostly just an excuse to kind of hang out and have a nice time, but who knows, maybe I'll do some other streams and maybe I'll prove myself wrong in the time between now and then, when this actually airs later. Otherwise, I've been up to taking he and throwing it in a well and acquiring she. So that's a me now. New art is in the works. Probably will already exist because this is months down the line. When this will actually come out. So, but but this is very early into that. So we thumbs
Is
up.
this why we hate Daniel? Because Daniel didn't respect your pronouns.
Daniel's
yeah.
fucking transphobic.
Oh my god,
Daniel-
Daniel!
We've-
We've
Reevaluate your
turned
life.
this Daniel into like a creep, a homophobe, a transphobe.
Mhm.
They're
Daniel's
just so
sitting there-
strong, man. I'm sorry if you're actually named Daniel. We don't mean you, Daniel. We mean that Daniel. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
like,
Daniel,
that
you know who you are.
You know who you are. If your name
Yeah.
is Daniel and you're not those things, you know we're not talking about you. You can hang out.
Exactly.
So none of this describes me, but my name is Daniel. We're not talking about you. You're probably lovely.
Yeah, exactly.
But Daniel, oh my god.
What
Like
an
people who are
asshole.
running by the pool, it's like you know who you are.
Guys, I'd like to
Yeah.
announce
Daniel
what
ran by
I've
the pool as a kid.
ran in the hallways at school constantly. I'd like to announce, by the way, but I've named the bee bag of this campaign.
Oh, is it Daniel?
As of just right now, I had a name. It's changed. It's different now. It's gonna be really great when he shows up and you're like, that guy's name is fucking Daniel. This big cool dude. Not like Dan or anything like that. Not even like fantasy Daniel with like apostrophes and like dashes in it. Like no, it's just
Daniel.
this is Daniel.
He
Anyway, he's an asshole. Kick him in the nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we know who the big bad evil guy of our campaign
Mhm.
is now.
Yeah, if you ever run into a Daniel, just kill him on the spot. That's my advice to you.
This is how the party becomes murder hobo.
Yeah.
Are you Daniel? Are you
Anyone?
Daniel?
It's your name, Daniel.
Is your name Daniel?
Party just devolves into crazed, schizophrenic, and like paranoia.
Everyone dies.
Start turning on each other. You're Daniel, aren't you?
You're Daniel. The real Daniel was the enemies we made along the way.
Mm-hmm. The funny thing is, I've only ever known one Daniel in my real life, and he was a sweetheart.
I've only known one and he was a jerk. It's
Yeah,
somewhere
I've
in the
only known
middle.
one and he was an asshole to me.
Yeah.
The coworker who not lives next door, who works right next door to me is named Daniel, and he's really nice.
Mm-hmm. Maybe
We're 50-50 on the Daniels.
maybe Daniels are perhaps just like the rest of humanity and can be good or evil
Oh, yeah.
inherently.
Oh my gosh, that's so deep.
Mm.
Just kidding.
Well,
what?
anyway. Before we
Anyway.
get too prophetic here.
Yeah. Before we get too prophetic, who'd like to reverse prophesize what happened last time?
I promised to read my
You
notes
did.
verbatim.
You did, and I trust that you will read your notes verbatim.
All right.
Normally we set this in advance, like, you know, after we
We
ended the
got new
previous session,
people
and
and the
we just-
rotation went out the window.
we got confused.
Well, we need to rediscuss that.
Yeah.
But all right. So last we left off, I said I'm going to read these verbatim, and I'm talking top to bottom on my pages here. So
Mm.
session 10, place, Kuran, people, Lord Kalen, Hemia, Fat Lizard. Note: Lane does not know what's going on. O'Hara is from where the Diamond Bloods are from. They said they are crossed out. We're a good person, even though they were probably responsible for Lane's death. O'Hara has seen Lane's heart. What the fuck? When? Arla. Crossed out. O'Hara. Crossed out. Arla. Has an undead eye. Face. What is going on? The woman who visited Arla was Fae? Question mark. O'Hara says they are not human. They are Fae-born? Question mark. It's so much. I can't read my own writing. So much juice crossed out tea to be had. We repeatedly hear about the Jeweled Hand. They are a thieves guild. They have connections with Lane. Lane heard they stole some time-related device from the Diamond Bloods or vice versa. I don't know what that has to do with Lane in hindsight. Oh no, that's something Lane heard. Okay. V, her family likely has some connection with them. Jeweled Hands might have something to do with the magician that trapped Shang Sui in her ball. V asks Hemia if she has connections with finding missing people. Hemia promises she will contact some old friends. Arla discovers that the potion is dangerous acid enchanted to make her want to drink it. So that's where my notes in.
Mm-hmm.
Also throwing in, V and Lane got drunk, talked about their feelings. Lane revealed, stuff about her past.
Mm-hmm.
Go watch the last episode. Uh,
I think Shang Sui helped Arla buy something. And
Yeah,
also
it was-
got
you
her
helped-
orb checked out. Her
Yeah.
physical checked
Yes.
and then O'Hara was like, "You need to tell everybody about the heart" to Lane, and Lane's like, "I don't want to, but okay." And so now we've gathered everybody up to talk about the heart and like next steps, I'm guessing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Yeah, so as I kind of expected, it was very, according to my notes, last game, we old tavern rats, 1 potion, old book man demons, lady with red hair, 200 gold, fixed broken
I
sword,
refuse to
Tragedrous,
accept.
gallstone, tall cleric,
It was
dark
like
elf.
3 steps above that.
It's
It's really hot in my room, so I'm gonna open my window a tiny bit.
Please do.
It's right here, so I don't even have to take my headphones off anymore.
Incroyable. Yeah, no, that is about right. It was also revealed to Lane and assumedly to the rest of the party once everyone was gathered that O'Hara is a kitsune, not a human, as was kind of alluded to during the recap there, and that they're gonna kind of continue to stick in their disguised form for the foreseeable time being, just because it's just much less complicated, basically. Yeah, gathering everyone all together, they are all kind of, we're gonna discuss kind of current happenings in and amongst themselves. We're all gathered in a little meeting room, the boardroom here, just outside of where Lane and O'Hara were having their conversation before. And with that, I'll see if there's perhaps a more appropriate theme for the time being. Probably this one is given the main focus of this portion of the conversation, at least. We play Lane's theme.
Alright, I still have to make more music.
Indeed, you do. Unfortunately, the task is never ending. But yeah, we're all in this meeting room, sat amongst the various chairs of the tables here. Fluffy, the owlbear cub, curled up on a sofa. Lane would appear to be perhaps leaned up against this little shelf on
Yeah,
the
I've
side.
shoved myself as far as I can into the corner.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is relatable in its own way. So yeah, where do we find ourselves specifically as we kind of zoom in on this? What's the vibe? Everyone's been kind of gathered together.
Anxiety.
Shansui is pretty tapped out because she spent all day doing some fortune telling
Mhm.
and got some money in the marketplace.
Mhm.
So she's since she did all the fortune telling magic, she is pretty tired and ready to go to sleep, and is
Mhm.
wondering why everyone's been gathered here.
Hi everyone. I'm sorry to gather you all here. I know you've been busy reading and existing. I'm sorry. But I just figured it's maybe good to touch base. What's my fucking accent? Lane kind of nervously pushes all her hair to one side. Yeah. And discuss next steps and everything. I haven't talked in this voice for 2 weeks after doing it consecutively for weeks. I'm really struggling here. She kind of looks around, and than like she and you guys have seen this before. She travels with what looks like an old like filigree bird cage, a small one like that could fit maybe like a canary, maybe a pigeon, slightly uncomfortably. Like it's a really small cage, about like I'd say like 6 inches tall and like 4 inches wide. It's circle though, so and it's covered always by this like black swath of like crushed velvet, but you can like see the edges of it and stuff, and have known that it's a bird cage or something similar. And she'll like awkwardly like put it on the table, like set it right here. So some of you have been traveling with me. Well, V has been traveling. No, Hara, sorry. Hi.
Waves.
Have been traveling with me for quite a while. And I was encouraged to maybe come. Just fuck. And she like goes and grabs the black, like the black velvet and like unties it where it's like tied on the cage and pulls it off. And in this cage is just a heart, like a beating heart. I know we keep forgetting a heart. I feel so bad every time. I don't know why. And they keep us alive. But yeah, there's just an anatomical beating heart in there. It's suspended by like some small gold chains. And she just kind of stares at everyone expectantly, kind of reading their expressions.
Harlow was made aware of this last night, not by Lane, but by O'Hara, so she kind of just doesn't seem to react that strongly.
V just makes some, like, as I wrote in the chat, just garbled noise of surprise, just
Lane's
Shangshui is not that surprised considering she is only ahead. Like
that,
having
that's
an exposed
absolutely
heart
fair.
is honestly not that much better than or not that much worse than being just ahead.
Lane's kind of watching Haro too. What's that little shit doing?
He is kind of doing the similar as you, except he's like stood on the table near where the cage is and kind of just watching for everyone's reactions.
Oh, go on.
No.
So this is mine. Well, like, okay, so I thought it was. Hold on, I shifted my mic to catch me better, and she was like, "No, fuck you." Okay, so it's not mine. At least her says it's not. Even though I don't have a heartbeat. You all learned recently that I was dead, and I'm not anymore. And I was brought back by a mysterious patron that neither Haru nor I know too much about. And I have this heart that I think helps channel my magic, and also I can't leave it. Like I can't be separated from it, because when I do, I become very cold and uncomfortable. And I feel like I'm gonna die again. So, but it's still apparently not from my body.
Wait, so it's not yours?
No, apparently. Looks at Haru.
Wait, but
Wow.
do you know other people who have been like, where did you get this body part? Are there other people like selling body parts?
No, so when I woke up from being dead, I woke up in a crypt, and I heard my name being called, and it was Haru, and he was just there, and next to him was this heart beating, and I, felt drawn to it, and I really didn't want to take it, but when I started trying to walk away from it, again, I mentioned I get really cold, like dying levels of cold, like when you like run out of blood levels of cold, and yes, so I had asked Haru, because I can talk to him, if it was mine, and he says it's not. I don't know whose it is.
Shangshui looks a bit disappointed because she was hoping that it would some sort of lead to finding her missing body parts.
Sorry to disappoint you. I can gather you were excited there. No, I don't think it has anything to do with you at all. It would really make more sense if it was my heart. I'm going to be honest.
Yours is
Gotcha.
still beating?
No. Fun fact about that. She looks kind of uncomfortable for a moment. I consequently don't have a pulse.
Saki,
So you still have another heart in your chest?
I don't know. I mean, I could see about maybe getting myself cut open and see if the heart's still there.
No,
I've actually
no, no.
contemplated it, but I
No.
don't know if that would result in me dying.
Let's go with not doing that for now. Last resort.
Last resort, sure.
I guess it's not incredibly important that we know, immediately. So.
Well, if it's not your heart, I just hope it's not my heart, okay?
That would be really unfortunate. I'm sorry if it is, because we're stuck together. If that's the case. Oh dear.
So, do you know who your patron is? Is Haru just a conduit for that?
Haru is real. He's a real bird. He's flesh and bone and blood like any other bird, but he can communicate a little bit better with what I know to be called the star. She's kind of like watching Haru too to make sure she's not like giving away any information he doesn't want her to give away.
He doesn't seem to be like a put off or anything from what you can read from him. Although you would recall it is the Crimson Star.
Crimson Star. I thought it was Scarlet Star.
Scarlet Star. Right, you're right.
That.
We were both
Scarlet
wrong.
Star. I was gonna say the Scarlet Star, but then you assumed I wasn't. No, I'm kidding. Our patron is called the Scarlet Star. The Star for short. We don't know much about it. I've tried to find some information, but our patron's not very forthcoming. And it's the source of my powers. Haru kind of serves as a means for me to know my magic. Helps me prepare, helps me know magic where I didn't before I died.
At the name Scarlet Star, could I do a recall knowledge arcana?
You certainly could.
Her?
Well, 13 is gonna be first before I give you any response. Would you like to roll with a hero point?
Yeah, sure. That again.
Okay. As you kind of think on the various tomes you've read and knowledge of those things, magic and arcane, you do recall reading about something by that name. You aren't entirely sure specifically what it is, but you are aware of what it isn't. Something that's, not common knowledge, but among those educated in religion, occultism, or arcana, most would know that stars are divine seals on abyssal portals in the sky. They glow because the celestial magic's keeping them shut, literally shine. And there is one star, sat in the night sky which glows a scarlet red, which is understood to not be one of these things. Although what it is, it's not really known.
As she thinks on this information, she just sort of squints at Haru and sort of lets her thoughts trail off.
Well, I was encouraged to come forward. That's kind of all the information I have.
As a part of that deal, O'Hara speaks up. I said I'd do similar. So I'm sure you, Arla, have picked up on a little bit, but it's just far simpler for me and all of you in general. If I stay like this, but I'm a kitsune, not a human, as I have maybe alluded to a little bit. It's not quite the same, as big of a revelation, but I told Lane I would stop keeping my secret, so...
Well, wait for Lane to steal your thunder. Like, that's, like, nothing compared to, like, Lane's there. Like Shangsui says in sort of like a sassy tone.
Kind of poking fun. Like, as well, kind of more pertinent. Not like it's a big secret, but there's more people here now. I'm from Uprails, up north, or at least that's where I grew up. That's where the Diamond Bloods are from as well. So, a lot of them, they're people I knew, or friends, or people I saw around town. So it's kind of a complicated situation, I guess. This isn't something I hid.
Alrighty then. Well, great. Is there any other secrets this party has? I'm a floating head, in case you guys did not realize.
I hadn't picked up
I'll
on
come
that.
out and say that. Yeah.
I guess
Anyone else have any secrets to get off their chest now?
what I'm trying to get at, I guess, was that we're traveling together and we've helped each other thus far. Why not with a little more? Kind of looks at the heart.
Shangsui ponders it in her head for a bit. It's like,
Ponders the orb.
The orb is pondering.
The orb is
Orb is
pondering.
Just if
And
anyone
finally,
needs help
she
with
ponders and ponders and finally relents. And is like, I guess I should say some more of what happened to me. I used to work for the traveling magician that I'm looking for. And I was his assistant for a time. We made good money doing little magic shows. And as part of one of the shows, he would, put me in a box and cut me up. Of course, I would be unharmed. Until one day, he had some very wealthy patrons. He took the money and he ran, leaving me in this sorry state.
As an aside, I very much enjoy the... Well, does anyone else have any secrets? Me, I do. Hi.
So wait, I thought there's I know the tricks they're talking about where they clean a box and they put a saw through your middle. I thought they were, there'd be two people inside and you'd be scrunched up on one side and someone would be on another side. I thought they were all completely fake. Did he really cut your head off? And
Yep.
I'm confused. Oh.
Listen, if you had to hire 2 people to do that trick, let alone 3 people, that would double your costs, So it's just him and me. And he found a spell where he could cut me right in the middle and right on my neck. And, you know, it was excellent show business because no one does the neck. Like, how do you even fake that, right? Because it wasn't fake. We did it for real. And look how that turned out.
And so he just
left me. He took the money and he ran.
Do you have this
Seems like bad
magician's name?
business.
Shansui looks like she's trying to say the name, but it seems like she just can't get it out of her mouth.
That's all right.
It's it's a buckyball cockatoo.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
It's bouillabaisse bumbersplat.
I-
It seems Shansui, no matter how she tries, just cannot say this man's name.
It's there. I'm getting the impression he left a curse on you on top of what else he did.
Shansui kind of like moves her eyes up and down as if to nod.
Less of a businessman, more of a con man.
Shansui like looks over at Saki and also like moves her eyes up and down as if to nod again.
Was your body destroyed, or? Is it
Well,
out
I
there?
assume that if my body was destroyed, I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
I don't know. You're a talking ball on the head right now. I'm suspending any doubt.
But sometimes I get these dreams, you see. I can feel them. I can feel them moving.
What would be the
Still
point
out
of
there somewhere.
what would be the point of keeping your body alive at that point?
That's what I want to know. What the fuck does he want to do with the rest of my body? I hope it's nothing gross.
I have some bad news about the black market.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
It's probably not that. It's probably not that. He's probably not doing that. It's just. I mean, I guess it would be fresher that way.
No, don't say it. Don't say it. Last night I had a dream of my torso, and I know it was still in one piece.
Then you're probably correct. You're probably right, and I'm just making things worse.
I mean, if worse comes to worse, I've heard about ways to like get a new body.
True.
You could even pick out what it
Right.
looks like. Wash your hands of all this business.
But it wouldn't be mine, though. I know you're happy having someone else's heart, but this is
I'm
my
not
body
happy
I'm talking
having
about
someone
now.
else's heart. I don't want this heart. Nor do I want to lack a heartbeat. Let's
And
say
I don't want
heartbeat.
someone else's body, so that's that.
It would still be yours. You'd make it.
Shansui ponders it for a bit, but she knows that she needs to find her real body.
I feel like it's pretty advanced magic making a new one. Beyond our reach right now, in any case. Could definitely pocket the idea, though, just in case.
Shansui thinks about it, but also thinks about like the curse that comes with it, and if that would even work.
I heard you mention your conversation back upstairs earlier today with the maid Himia. You guys mentioned something about his show being associated with some jeweled hands group. Is that maybe a lead?
Right. I don't know. We were definitely not called that before, but I have no idea where that magician has gone off to now.
I've been suddenly hearing the name the jeweled hand being thrown about quite a bit.
Yes, me too.
There's someone.
You said the magician was part of them?
We weren't part of them when I was there, when I was
Ah.
his assistant. But I have no idea what foul group he has fallen into now.
A lead is a lead.
True.
going to figure out much by simply sitting here in this mansion.
That's what I've
Much
been
as I would-
saying. Let's get our secrets out on the floor and let's get a move on.
It's also the matter of helping out with the Diamond Bloods that are here in this area, as we said we would. And the I'm sorry, what was his name? The knight that's away on business right now, Lane?
Warwick?
Yeah, I thought he was meant to be returning perhaps this evening with news.
Yes,
Mm,
that's part of
Did
the
we
reason
not
we were
say we were
staying.
staying for a few days?
That's part of the reason we were staying for a few days. It's to talk to Warwick
Yes,
and also to recuperate a bit.
Of course, if we do want to run off, and I'm sure that they'll all understand.
I thought so, yes.
I mean, were
I
they
would like to
supposed to be
wait.
back by now?
By tonight, I believe, or sometime very soon.
Well, I suppose we could
Besides,
wait
there's no
another
point.
day, but if they're not back, then, well, could mean going and finding them.
Perhaps, yes. I would like to if they're not back, because then that means they're missing, and, you know, I'd like to prevent that.
Right, well, sounds like we'll be staying here for at least a little bit. And then, after we make our way looking for this Jeweled Hand group, sounds like a couple of you guys have maybe heard something about them.
And we'll be getting money hunting the Diamond Bloods anyway, right?
Yeah, it's a job, right? I
Yeah.
can only imagine the pay will be good, and if they have any loot themselves, I'm sure we're welcome to it. Finder's fee and all that. I think that's how these things work.
Now that she's actually thinking about it, can I do society question mark to think about to recall knowledge on the jeweled hand?
Yeah, society would be appropriate.
Cool.
Okay. As you kind of, now that you're thinking about it and when names kind of popping up and around, you do call forth some knowledge about this group called the Jeweled Hand. They're, at least their front is a fairly large, at this point, merchant operation based out of Broome, the city sat upon the swamp. Although they have branches in most cities around through the country, and their front, as mentioned, was mercantile. You know that they dipped their fingers into most businesses, alchemy, weaponry, and just general, stock market bullshit. For lack of a better term, they help to keep the rich that way. But more importantly, they run a pretty extensive subterfuge network, both in terms of information, magical experimentation, and your classic thievery. And they're pretty entrenched. If you want something found, or someone found, or want some magic to be done, which might be breaking a few rules here or there, or things to be researched, they're who you go to.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I suppose that we can wait and see what happens. Saki is like sort of somewhat frantically flipping through her notes, sort of reading about this stuff. But if we're going to actually do any investigating on this, I would much rather do so sooner rather than later. And despite no lifing it in the library the last couple of days, she has started to get more and more restless, just sitting here and being here. So she is very much ready to leave.
Kind of, as this conversation is kind of reaching this plateau, the maid Hilia would kind of knock on the door and kind of greet the group where they are, kind of opening up and saying, excuse me, don't mean to interrupt, but Sir Rorik's just returned and is looking to, well, meet this intrepid group that has mentioned aid. I decided to let you be a surprise.
Oh, thank you, Kenya. Perfect timing.
That gives you finger guns. And he's just through the door behind me right here, so make your way at your leisure. Kind of steps to the side.
I'll just, we could go now. Okay, just gonna stop. Sorry, give me 1 second. My stomach has decided I am enemy of the state, and it is very, very meanly painful.
Yeah, no, we can wait a second.
No problem. We can have some out of character talk while we wait.
Yeah, we can chill while you need to take care of your tum. No worries.
Yeah.
Here.
So what
Now
secrets
that
do
we've
you
gotten to the heart of the problem.
miss? Oh my gosh, the heart of the problem. We had a great heart to heart.
Awful.
We can get ahead of the conversation.
I can't handle it.
I guess each of us is going to pick a body part that we can all make puns about. Just get ready to sacrifice some part of your character.
I see what you're saying.
Wait, when you're a kitsune though, shouldn't yours be tails or ears?
He was making a joke about
Arla's eye.
Arla's head.
Oh, that's right. I see. You're a fellow pupil of the puns.
Oh, I have nothing wrong with
you
I have a scar. Childhood trauma, dazzle sparkles.
Twinkle, twinkle, twinkle.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, my pun is just childhood trauma, PTSD. Woo.
Yay! V's having a great time.
Yeah.
Just happy to be involved.
Here.
Happy to be here. I feel like that's O'Hara in every scenario. Just happy to be here.
Yeah, might be fighting for my life and having to stare someone dead face down, but they're not as scary when I'm not thinking about them if I'm just seeing them.
Out of sight, out of mind.
More insight out of mind.
Yeah.
If they're in front of me, it's just a problem. If I'm thinking about them,
the lingering darkness in the corners of my mind.
Just full bloodborne frenzy. Scream, blood shoots from head. 70% damage.
No.
That's not a good prize.
Saki,
That's a
Saki's
bad
so
one.
lucky. Head empty.
You have died.
Head empty. Nothing to give you nightmares up there.
Mm.
I mean, I don't actually know that.
Then
but-
we've got
Perhaps we had
Arla's head empty, and then Chung Sui is everything else empty.
Mhm.
Oh no, I said Saki.
Saki is
Yeah.
head
Me
far
too.
too full. No
I
room
can
for
Nightmares
thoughts.
if no
Yeah.
think.
No
I can
room for
promise
thoughts
you
in my
Arla's
head.
head
There's-
is
it's too
not
I
full.
wanted to make the head empty joke and then me being only a head,
Mm.
and we can combine powers, but no, Saki
So
is
no head?
full of-
Everything else
full of
empty.
heads.
Head empty, book full.
Yeah, that's true. The book contains all the knowledge.
At least every knowledge.
At least one of every
Definitely a
knowledge.
couple of them. Maybe not every knowledge.
It'll teach you a thing or two,
Like 3
at least.
Mm.
I fucking
Maybe
know.
3, maybe 4.
Mm. It's taught you at least that many things
We're all
thus
that,
far in the campaign. Are these things you already wrote in it yourself previously? I mean, yeah, maybe. But it's retaught you them.
We're all that one
That's
meme.
so true.
The I may be dumb, but I'm not stupid. Or whatever that meme is.
Oh my god, yeah.
One of these times, I'll have a chance to use that. I can give you head pun again, but it hasn't come up yet.
It'll happen.
It'll happen at some
It'll
point.
happen.
One day.
Mhm,
It'll be when we all forget about it, and then
Yeah,
it'll
when
just
you
get
least
us.
expect it.
mhm. God, we can only hope that during the course of this
Exactly.
campaign that Shang Tsui never gets an itchy butt, because
Oh
God
no!
won't be able to scratch it.
Maybe that's when
Curse
she
words.
dreams
We don't
about
know.
it.
We don't know. Her body could be out there just walking around.
That's
If
true.
if the
Like that,
vision from last time
that
is
one,
to be believed, their body and their legs are also separate.
Then never
Oh,
mind.
no.
At the very least,
It's like
we'll
that
not be able
Pirates
to
of the
just-
Caribbean scene with the head and the body
Mhm.
walking away.
Yeah. I know. What if they're in different places? What if they're not even in the same place?
What
Oh,
if they're not
shock.
even on the same plane?
No, don't
Oh,
say
no.
that.
I put your body in a box and I shut the door, and when I opened it, and it was a portal.
No. My
Schrodinger's,
body's in a different dimension.
Mhm.
Schrodinger's body?
Schrodinger's butt.
It's both there and isn't
There's
until
that.
proven otherwise. Really?
It's a real crack in space time.
Hmm. The body could be in
Mhm.
any town until you confirm that it isn't.
True.
Mm-hmm.
The act of observing it's not there does change the outcome.
It's true.
Yeah, so don't look at my butt.
What if we already have and we don't even know? What if we passed it on the street?
No.
I think you would have
It's
noticed.
a disembodied butt walking around.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's
That'd be
disembodied.
so funny.
Just a butt and legs.
What if
walking
someone
around.
else has it?
Someone else is walking around with your butt.
What if someone grabbed it and combined it to their torso to try and make themselves into a centaur?
Exactly. They could be a man.
No, I
They could.
hate
They
that.
could be a mantar.
Right?
Oh.
And stick my butt onto their butt to make
Mhm.
it a centaur.
Is that how that works?
You-
This is actually something that's happened in One Piece, so
yeah,
I mean,
it,
I mean,
there's
I'm not
precedent.
surprised. I think everything's happened in One Piece.
Me
There's so many
too.
episodes.
I
At
was
this
gonna
point,
say, I think that's the plot of Human Centipede, actually.
no.
it's a tour de force, I hear.
I've
Uh,
never watched that movie. Reading the Wikipedia gave me nightmares.
That's
Listen.
fair.
yeah,
I was not
exactly.
in any way influenced by Human Centipede. I swear, this is completely different.
This is a completely unique
sure hope
IP. Uninspired by Human Centipede. Don't worry.
I actively try not to think of that movie.
Well, we're thinking about it now.
Thanks to you, it's your
Yeah.
fault.
I didn't bring it up.
What?
No, I'm pretty sure you did actually. It's definitely
I'm
not my
dead.
fault. I did not bring it up. No.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, we have to watch the VODs. Who brought it up? Type it in the comments. Who to blame for bringing up human centipede, and now it's on all of our brains, including you, the audience.
Anyway.
Where's the live chat?
Yeah. It's
In the
in-game. Put
My
F's in
love for
chat.
meat. My love for meat sticks will be my hubris. That's all I'm gonna say.
What?
Oh no.
Is that why you're wearing the goddamn turlet?
They're those spicy ones.
Yeah, they brought them back, and I'm so happy. Right, they're back because normally my favorite foods don't come back, and I was fighting
Did you
for my life.
overindulge in the meat sticks?
Yes, I did, Evie.
No,
I'm
hold
sorry,
on.
what is a meat stick?
When an item leaves Canada and it comes back, you buy as many as you can because you don't know when it's gonna come back again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I just think they were out of stock at my nearby shell, but
Mhm.
Probably not a
what is
little
the
Debbie
meat stick?
situation.
It's
to
stick of
fill you
meat?
guys in, before you guys joined, I had these meat sticks I'd eat before every session. They were super
Mhm.
spicy, like so they're like Slim Jims, right? Super,
Oh,
super, super spicy. I love them. I'm addicted to super spicy food. And so they're back at like they stopped stocking them for a while. It's very sad because this keeps happening to me. Like I love foods and Canada's like nah.
Oh, these are good.
Yeah, basically, they brought them back. I perhaps overindulged a bit today.
You were just so ready to absolutely
I was
ruin
so
yourself
worried
on
that
them.
spicy meat stick was a euphemism for something.
Not this
No.
And you said you
All
overindulged.
right.
time. All right. So, back to zeroing in on the situation, and not talking about the spicy meat stick. The party's kind of exiting from the meeting room where they had found themselves prior, as Sir Rorik has returned and is supposedly waiting in the main hall presently, for this group of helpful individuals he's been told about, to help him with his task. Mhm. So, I can...
Yeah, Lane's just following.
Yeah, he's just following.
Starting to feel a bit like one of those birds like it's brought to like an elementary school.
Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
move the group over to the room. You can rearrange yourselves however you will, right? But
Don't just say butt and then stop there. Are you making fun of me because I have no butt?
maybe.
I'll sit in the fireplace.
I can't
That
believe
sounds
I've
like
become
a
the butt
place.
of the joke.
Ah.
It's okay. I didn't have a butt till I hit puberty.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Choked, okay.
Sorry.
Well, these in the fire.
The
Lady
meat
should
stick
be
delirium.
delirium.
I keep thinking Shanksway is Haro. Because she's little.
I'm little, I'm tiny.
Put her on
Oh,
your
that's
shoulder,
red.
she just rolls off.
Oh, I tried to grab her.
You can't grab me.
Mhm.
Hands off.
As you all kind of walk in, and Lane's kind of following, kind of probably in the middle of this little crowd, right? Trying to keep out of sight. You all do see, kind of stood on the precipice of this meeting hall, basically, a man appears to be kind of middle-aged-ish, perhaps in his mid-40s, early 50s. He has black hair, although it's kind of more salt and pepper than it is black at this stage. Kind of these steely eyes. He's built fairly large, although he is wearing a full suit of armor, so it's a little hard to tell exactly what his build is underneath that, as it's definitely adding some bulk. Oh, he does seem fairly built. And he's kind of stood there watching as the group enters, not really kind of like pinning an eye on anyone in particular until you all kind of sit and stand before he like starts to like appraise the crowd, kind of left to right, starting with, Arla and working his way across his left. I realize that's right on the map, but as he's kind of like nodding. He sees Arla and the owlbear. He's like, it seems to like nod in kind of approval. Sees someone who seems to be wearing kind of like holy vestments. And his eyes lock onto Lane, and for a moment they like continue onward towards Saki, and then they like stop and ow. And
Goodness.
eyes lock back towards Lane, like it almost in surprise, and he just like opens his mouth for a second, closes it, and he's this very like serious, stern-looking gentleman, kind of square jaw, and he just starts bawling.
Oh
no! And like tears running, wiping his face for a while. It's a little awkward, quite honestly.
Yeah, Lane definitely runs up like, and wait, no, you can't cry, because then I'll cry, and it gets, oh, stop it, please! She like grabs him by the face rather harshly.
And his eyes like kind of like lock onto yours, like teary, bleary, and like looks at you and like, "But you're here, Lady Lane."
It's just Lane currently. Yes, I'm here. Sorry. She just kind of does the awkward hug thing.
Saki leans to V. It's just, should we be here?
Lane's like trying to smother
Considering
him.
offering a tissue. Do you need a handkerchief?
No.
I don't have one.
No, I'll be all right. Yes.
Changsu kind of looks at Lane like, what did you do?
Lane has her back.
Like slowly like pulls himself together. It takes a little while and just I should have been there.
No, we don't do that because none of us knew that was going to happen.
Regardless, 'tis the one stain on my honor. At least up until recently.
Stain remover. Go on. No more.
That is yet to be seen. I'm glad you're alright, and I apologize for that display, everyone. To see me like that, sometimes my heart demands to be worn on its sleeve, and not held strong in my armor, as one might prefer. And kind of clears his throat. Well, I've been told, by the lovely Hemia that you all offered to make work here on the bounty work for the Diamond Bloods. Is that correct? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes.
I mean, we'll make short work of them if that's what you mean.
Well, I hope that is true, but that's not entirely what I'd actually necessarily ask of you. I've just returned from scouting out with a small force where their base is on a matter of personal inquiry, and I have found it and confirmed my concerns.
What concerns?
It's my son, Garrick.
Oh.
He's joined up with them.
That's not good.
No. So you can understand why I'm not so keen to be slaughtering.
You'll have to forgive me because, first of all, congrats on the son and the marriage and all that. But what on earth made him join the Diamond Bloods, given the history of this place?
Well, I think he's too much of me in him. He sees the discontent of the people and thinks that his father and my liege are perhaps not doing the best job.
Okay.
He's always wanted the best for the people of the town. So much so that he refused to live in the manor since his 15th year. But that's neither here nor there.
But, I mean, I don't know very much about how everyone feels about the Diamond Bloods, and save for only my own bias. Don't the townspeople share the sentiment we do?
It's a complicated relation. Their former leader was a great man, much greater than the one that was in charge when they were here. And they've done a lot of good. There's been a lot that their group of fighters has helped with where local militia hasn't, both here and in other cities. It's just that they've decided that they should be more in charge ever since Drake passed. Whoever took his mantle is more driven than that, I suppose. Or perhaps he sees the mission of their former leader, Cyrus. It's hard to say.
Lean's kind of like chewing at the edge of her thumb as she's listening. That does complicate the situation. I'll admit I wasn't exactly keen on just going out and slaughtering people left and right. I've got, like, maybe one. Or so vendetta. But...
What if we got him back? What if we convinced him to come back?
Yes. It's a very good point. And also, how old is he?
He is of his 19th year.
So he's still quite young.
Oh, baby.
He's a baby.
Yeah, baby.
He is quite young. Still not yet filling his own boots all the way. It's deciding that he knows better than any of us. Who knows? Maybe he does. But I think whatever it is he does know is being misguided.
I would agree there. I'm not saying the current Diamond Bloods are right or wrong. We had a run-in with them coming here. They weren't these outwardly violent criminals, although they made me quite anxious. It's a complicated situation, I would agree. One that I think... Go on.
No, please, finish. Far be it from me to interrupt you.
All I was saying is... perhaps going in with a bit more tact might be more helpful. Rather than just going in and... you know, if it's red, it's dead kind of situation.
Quite. I did surmise that there was quite the amount of supplies for a large force at their base when I'd found it. So, there's that to be concerned of as well.
Lane's kind of like pacing about, like here to here.
Of course, I would prefer, much as the Lord would, for diplomacy to be our first hand, if at all possible. But it's always a concern, isn't it?
Always. I couldn't agree more with the diplomacy tactic. If diplomacy is Kaelin's intention as well, why the bounty?
The bounty is published by the guardsmen, who've had quite a few run-ins with them up to this point. When your own men turn up dead, you'd like the same to be said of the ones that did it.
Very high tensions.
Oh, sorry, can you repeat that? And pretend I didn't speak.
Oh,
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
simply saying very high tensions.
Yes.
Hard to step back once either side has started throwing punches, let alone drawing blood.
Yes. Which is why I was so keen to meet your group. You're technically, kind of inclines his head to the side, towards Lane, very technically not affiliated with either side.
I suppose that applies for everyone else. I'm in a weird spot, but
Indeed. Although, they are unlikely to know that.
this is true. They do think I'm dead. And it's also been 30 years. And I also look a little bit different. Not too much, but you know.
Yes, that's why.
Redder?
That's why it took me a second. Ah, the hair.
The eyes. Yes. The turns out when you die, you come back a little more red in color.
Well, I should hope that none of you have to experience any further reddening, then.
Please. That would be great.
Of course,
I think
you'd be paid
Sorry.
for any efforts, even if it's a technically unsanctioned request.
yes, Lord Kaelin made us aware. I myself will not be accepting any coin, but I know it's going to be forced upon me anyway, so it will be like a party fund.
Yes,
I can't.
if you don't accept coin, then the Lord will insist that your companions be paid extra.
I don't think they would complain.
Shang Tsui kind of looks at Lane and is like, yes, let's be paid extra. In her mind.
She kind of like glances down at, or I don't know if Toto's floating or Toto, sorry. Shang Tsui is floating or not. Toto is floating. Toto's always floating.
We're just floating in the waves.
Yes, I'm sure the extra funds would help them greatly. We are also needing information about the jeweled hand, if you have any. Before we really get into the discussion and nitty-gritty of things.
What particular are you looking after? I'm not exactly master of information, but I can say what I know.
Lane kind of just motions to, it was mostly Hemia, not Hemia, sorry. Wow, okay, I cannot say her name. Shang Tsui and V. Who were, good lord, every name but yours. Kind of Shang Tsui
I can
and
be
V.
Hemia.
Yeah, there you go. Who were, seem the most intrigued about the jeweled hand, although Lane is interested. There's some connections between us all. Just what they're about and so on and so forth. where we can find them, if you know, maybe.
Well, as for where you can find them, at least public-facing heads, you can find them in most cities, although Himia managed to injure a contract that they would not set roots down here during that whole kerfuffle. Bruum is nearby. It is their founding headquarters, although in the capital they're fairly established as well. Most cities you can find one of their heads.
I see. We were headed to Bruum anyway. So that's a good spot to start.
Should I inform Himi of that? She asked me to find out where you were going next, if I could.
I think it's best. We're probably going to be kind of all over the place, but I do think Bruum was our next goal. And with the jeweled hand being there, everybody's got, their fingers in the pie, the jeweled hand pie. Sorry.
Quite the pie that it is.
Shangsui rolls her eyes at the fingers part of that saying.
V nods at the pie part. She likes pie.
Pie flavored.
That can be your body part for puns, the pie part.
Thank you for the editor's note. She likes pie.
Translator's note. Pie means pie. All according to Keikaku.
That information along with maybe us, perhaps a larger group with Kaylin sitting down soon here, and I know it's getting late now, but I know everyone kind of wants to get on the road as well, but figuring out the best way to handle this Diamond Blood situation as well.
Quite. First and foremost, I rather selfishly would like for Garrick to be accounted for. But just as importantly, for the situation to be diffused, however that might turn out.
I agree. I think we're definitely going to have to play this more carefully than we initially thought.
Guns a-blazing is certainly tempting. It's how we retook the town, but...
You have questions about that as well. I have many questions. I'm kind of just getting caught up on everything.
Well, if you wouldn't mind an old war veteran recounting some old stories after we're done here, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
That sounds lovely.
Oh. Well, do any of the rest of you have questions in any specific category?
How many Diamond Bloods do you estimate there are right now?
Based on the size of the camp, I'd estimate that their forces are probably in and around 100 bodies. Although they're not all there presently, they tend to scatter. It's more of a resource base depot, skeleton crew manning it.
And where's this camp? How close?
It's not far. It's only about half a day's march from here, once you know the direction.
I see.
Both convenient and concerning.
There's people screaming outside my window.
I heard that.
That's them now.
They
Two
provide
arms.
That's ready.
It's the final battle. It's the final session. Now.
Let's go.
Just springing the final fight on you completely out of nowhere, unbalanced for a third level party.
It's the Cyclops all over again.
Good old Cyclops. Good old Cyclops.
Everyone hide lane. We can't let it happen again.
I have to make 5 death saving throws before I die.
Oh, good.
Hey, you're playing a
I'm
witch again.
special.
Hey.
Level 3, playing a witch, similar sized party. It's about time.
Oh no. No. Please don't crush my head in again.
R.I.P.
That is really funny. I didn't make that connection.
Don't worry, you're not in the desert. It doesn't line up.
It doesn't line up. It's trees.
Yeah. I got lost. I got sidetracked. Where were we?
We've been asking about like where the Diamond Bloods were and stuff. And we're planning on like having like a war meeting. It sounds like
War Council.
war council. Let's go. It's the perfect room for it. Look at it.
Right?
Well, if we would like to get to that strategy discussion, and then we can make preparations and be off on the morrow.
Sure. Let's
I,
do that.
I'll be sure to
Works for
be
me.
nearby when you're going in to the camp. But, well, you understand diplomacy might be difficult if I'm there, or any of my men bearing our arms.
Certainly.
Yes.
You can leave it to us. Just make sure to point us in the right direction and we'll go.
Will do. I'll provide you a map. I'll have one drawn up.
Thank you.
Well, if there's any advice you need in your strategy meeting, I suppose I'll stick around for that, but I'm...
Can I make a fortune-telling roll for the fate of his son?
Sure. I'm down with that.
All right.
I just see translator's note, Keikaku means pie.
You just saw that? Oh no, unlucky 13.
Oh no.
I have a plus 11. Oh
You
my
do.
goodness.
You rolled
Wow.
you rolled a very low on that.
Do we have hero points?
You do. You have 2 in fact at this stage.
Okay, I'll use one of those too. Let's have some fun here.
It's better. It's
Better.
it's a whole 2 higher.
I see. Okay.
Naruhodo.
Naruhodo. I hope your son's good.
I see. You sure, do you?
Yeah.
So you say you have a son.
I'm sensing you have a son.
Any tragic backstory we would need to know about the son right now?
But no, reading the cards, trying to divine information about the son. Things are again a little difficult to nail down in the concrete, but there is great flux in the future.
This is the magic 8-ball equivalent of your future is unclear.
Yeah.
Again.
More like you asked the magic 8-ball, are things gonna change? And it said, seems likely.
Mhm. Fortune telling is a blessing and a curse, huh?
Yeah, I know y'all said strategy meeting, but I also know that players don't necessarily always have all the information on hand for a strategy
Right.
meeting, so we can say that there's a strategy meeting and move on.
I say we infiltrate them, we join the Diamond Bloods, and we dismantle them.
That would
from the
immediately.
inside
I
out.
say we walk in and we win.
That's a good one. All I'm saying is the Infiltrate with Diamond Bloods campaign is totally a different vibe, but so cool.
Get those
You're wel-
smokers that they put
Wait,
into
but I could
beehives
actually
to make
sneak
them
in. I'm
feel
just a ball. I could
Mm.
sneak in and scout.
good. That'd be so funny. You just trip all
What
over.
happens
I just
Saki
no,
is
I just
going
roll
to-
in
break?
under the
What happens
table.
if they break you?
Saki is gonna grab Shang Sui like a baseball and just shot put.
Wind up.
Bowling.
Your-
+4 strength. I
Mhm.
can probably throw Shang
Yeah,
Sui pretty
mhm.
far.
Pretty far.
But it would be. I could escape using like my dream magic. I could try and hide myself.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could at least scout the area out before we enter. That's a
What is
strategy.
that? We can definitely like quote unquote have a strategy meeting after session, like between the 2 weeks.
That's true. It's just hard to also have strategy meeting in mind
Yeah.
when we don't know what the map is like and
Yeah.
we're all very EP.
with that in mind, give me a moment, because there is obviously a map, and your good man did say he'd be drawing you up one.
Oh, real quick, also, could I get this guy's name again so that I can write it down?
Rick.
Yes, Rorik.
You should have said Rick.
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 Rory.
There we go. So your maps, your tokens are on this map, but ignore that, and I turn the map on, and I need to change some sight lines here so that y'all can actually
So pretty.
Ooh,
see in there.
Rick.
Uh-huh. His name's
What's happening?
not Rick.
Just
First, the map loaded partially in, and I thought we were in space.
you are.
Oh, wow. I mean, I guess that's true. Technically, everyone is in space.
All the time.
Yeah.
Hey, you
So
were
we
worth the
throw-
plot of
We
Voltron.
throw Shang Sui here, it blows up. We throw her here, it blows up.
How do you
Next, we
retrieve
throw her
Shang
right
Sui?
in the- Oh,
We do
don't
not.
worry about it.
Shang Sui can play fetch with herself.
Losses are necessary in war.
Mhm.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
Shang Sui's real voice.
Ralph Wiggums.
This is
Yeah.
actually such a pretty map, though.
It is.
Gonna eat the balls. So there's some big ass fireflies. What the fuck?
They're right up next to the camera. Don't worry
They're
about
closer to the camera.
it. Yeah. Connie gets it. But yes, map is here if that will help to strategize. But as I said, we can say that there is strategizing and then
Okay,
move on in the roleplay. That's also totally acceptable.
Cool beans.
Like that's fine. I don't expect you guys to be able to look at a map and be like, yes, exactly. We are.
We start tactically walking right here through the door.
As you can see, as it's drawn out on the map, there's 2 large kind of walls erected of logs on one side of the camp. It seems to be built or into a kind of crevice in the side of a kind of large stone-like cave area. It is outside, of course, but there is some makeshift buildings erected, some tents put up, some of which are noted as supply tents, others are for personnel, and not knowing what is in there specifically, but designating that it exists, there is an entrance to a cave, which there is more things into the back of, the actual camp itself. And as was mentioned, a bit of a skeleton crew does, keep the camp at all times, and others kind of make their way in and out for supplies and other such things, as they're mostly scattered about in little satellite camps around the forest.
Okay. Cool beans. Ow. I hit my knee. on my
Don't do
desk.
that. If you have a knee, don't hit it.
Oh no, I've got some bad news.
I have no idea what you just said.
I said I've got some bad news.
Bad
I
news.
still couldn't hear it. What?
Got some bad news.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thought you said I've got some badgers.
Badger.
Just
Mushroom.
muttering your words like a drunk.
I'm not muttering. My mic is just kind of far away.
It is. It
I'm
is.
just picturing you slurring. I've got some badgers.
I got some badgers.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
it.
turn my gain up even more.
Mhm.
You will hear all.
Mhm. But yeah, you'll be given all the various supplies and such that you might need to make a bit of a trek, enough for 2 days, just in case things get delayed, right? And given all this information, the night will set, of course. And if there's any conversation and other meetings and such that happen throughout the night before we move back here, then just let me know, and we can go through those scenes, of course.
Yeah, I need to talk to this man about
Hmm.
Saki
More
doesn't have
stories.
much else in particular. She's been doing the like bouncing her leg up and down through
Me.
like the entirety of this strategy meeting, and as soon
Yeah.
as it's sort of over, she goes to like take a evening/night walk
Hmm.
outside just to get her restless legs to stop.
Yeah, for sure. We stand a bitch with restless leg syndrome. It's me. But yeah. I know Blaine's got her conversation with Rorik to go through. Anything else?
Can Changsui have another dream of her body?
Can certainly try to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We can do that first, because a dream of a body is likely to be fairly short. So I don't want you to have to like wait through a roleplay
I'll have
scene
you know, I
just
was
to...
quite tall with my body, okay?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Sorry. It's likely to be a tall queen. There we go. So if you wanna roll, I would say this is occultism. I believe that's what it was last time when you
I
attempted your
think so.
dream.
Makes sense.
Mhm. Hey, that's
Oh,
a really good roll.
my first good roll of the night.
Mm. As you sit and wait in your orb, you begin to ponder, your mind's eye opening, shifting, and looking for the rest of your form. Looking now with a more familiar sensation to hopefully where your body is. Now that you've spied it once, you hope to do so again. And last night, you felt movement like that of a horse-drawn carriage rattling down a road. It was quite dark where you were, like you were sealed inside of something, inside of perhaps a box or something of that sort. And as you looked down with your mind's eye, envisioning your head where it ought to be, you saw your torso ending at the hips. And that's when you snapped out of the vision. This time, when you focus in and you drift across the endless dream to see your form, no longer are you moving, rattling around, nor do you see this darkness around you like you're inside of a crate. You look around where you are at, and it seems to be kind of later on, as you would expect, because it's evening when you're doing this, so kind of dim lights lit by torch on the inside. There's a fairly nice building, marbled floors, pieces of art around, that sort of thing. Large, gorgeous windows, and placed upon a pedestal, you realize is yourself. It's where you are.
What?
And kind of confused, looking around, you do see an individual staring across from you, wearing this kind of ostentatious attire. It's almost like a midnight black tuxedo, kind of almost a shawl or shoulder cape atop it, with kind of these stars sparkling out towards the back, a top hat upon his head, a very familiar face, a magician. He
It's you,
grins
Buttercup Nottingham.
a wily, devilish grin, and says, "Pretty penny for my pretty pockets," and clicks his finger. Make a fortitude saving throw.
Oh no.
Oh no.
As you look down from this spectral head, and you see at the hips and starting to climb upwards, your torso beginning to shift into stone. As it rapidly reaches up to your neck, you look up, kind of in fear, shock, anger, perhaps, as these eyes are meeting yours and grinning this starlit twinkle of a smile, as snap, you're out of the vision.
I wake with a start, sweat dripping down my brow. That bastard. He's turned me into fucking modern art. And I try to drift off into that dream once more, but I can't for the rest of the night. I remain restless and unable to recapture that vision.
No sleep for the orbs.
No sleep for the orb.
Or at least no restful sleep.
Yeah.
Rem eludes you.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
But yeah, then we go back to another time during the night, where Lane and Rorik are sat somewhere in the manor, perhaps in this room over here.
Yeah. I thought those chairs were mushrooms.
They could be mushrooms. Of course, he would also kind of, assuming Lane would be alright with such a thing, extend the invitation to anyone else that wanted to join for some old stories.
Yeah, sure. Come on down to Trauma Town.
To Shea Trauma.
Am I able to do this, or am I still like
This would
asleep?
have been before you would have gone to bed, so you'd be
okay.
able to come on down for this. Anyone is able to, unless they so decide they're, otherwise indisposed. This would have been like shortly after you all kind of split apart.
Which way are we going?
I'll move you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Should I move anyone else over? Going once, going twice.
Saki would have already left, so.
Yep, that's true.
I feel like maybe V would want in, but I don't know yet because Evie's not there.
Yeah, Shangsui just wants
Oh,
any information she can possibly gather about the enemies that they're gonna face, and possibly
I'll
the,
say Lane dragged V. I'm forcing her into this.
I feel like that makes enough sense.
No, I think Arlo would have been kind of emotionally. She would have had an emotional response to the whole thing, so she's probably going to clear her head and then probably try to sleep.
Fair. Arla going to clear her head. You just hear slam, 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 head hitting wood wall.
That's how she does that.
Yeah, that's how she does that. Just like any healthy, well-adjusted adult would. That's how I get rid of my stress.
Yeah.
Words I don't even remember what I was stressed about.
Yeah, all he remembers the pain, and that's way better.
Ollie. Specifically Ollie.
Ollie?
Yeah, you said Ollie.
All I remember.
Oh, okay.
No, that's how Ollie deals with stress too, though, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it's especially effective with the hollow bird bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Himia would join as well. As I go to move tokens and accidentally realize that I can move multiple tokens at once in weird ways. I put Shangsui on a chair, just sitting on it perfectly. As you all kind of gather in this kind of lounge room, as he kind of sits and Himia comes in as well. And says, I hear we're telling old stories, so I'm coming along for that, because I'm sure I can fill in any of the blanks that old man here can't. Kind of grins at him, and he kind of gives her a look that is kind of twofold. It's one part, we both know you're older than me, and it's 2 parts doting dad. It's very conflicting feelings, but this is how elves be.
Yeah. Elves constantly just feels weird. Try not to think about it too much.
She says, and I brought some drinks in case anyone wants one.
Thank you. I will take you up on that.
Some brandy. And yeah.
Fill me up.
Just fills up the orb.
Surrounds her.
Half full.
More of an orb half full kind of gal.
Shangsui can't respond because her mouth is full. She's bubbling in alcohol.
Trying desperately to drink.
I suppose when you don't really have lungs attached to you, that works out in your favor.
But yeah. Kind of pours some drinks around the table and gets one for herself and sets one in front of Sir Rorik. Says, well, I'm sure you have many questions. I've, of course, got my own tales of the matter, but I'd pick your brain for what you'd like to know before I start rambling.
I appreciate that. I do have a few questions. First and foremost, I'm wanting to know, it's just been stuck in my mind ever since, why the Diamond Bloods took any interest in Karan at all. when I left, it was a hamlet. Oh, tiny population and everything. I don't see why it would be a target.
As far as we had gathered at the time, it was nearby. It's quite as simple as that. They didn't have as large a force as they would get as things progressed, and we were a good location for them to set up their base beyond the frozen reaches of the north. Uprails is so far north it might as well be in the Frostfell. It's not even technically, or not until recently at least, part of Grelia.
I see. A bit of a tough question. Was I the only casualty?
No, there were some townsfolk and a few other of the serving staff that didn't make it. Many of the guards, but there wasn't more blood than one would expect from that sort of thing.
Okay, give me a moment. I'm writing notes.
Says that with kind of a dour expression of there was quite a fair amount of bloodshed, but that is how things go.
So what became of Karan? It was a year, I remember Hemia said.
Yes.
While you all were away, like, how were there still townspeople occupying the town, or had they cleared everyone out? Kind of situation.
There was townspeople still living here. Those who didn't fight back were allowed to stay here. It was a town first, and their forward base second. Their leader, Cyrus, came down, took the manor as his own, remodeled quite a few things for his size, and set up a bit of base. Took title of lord and used that to, expand the town and expand his forces. Just move out from there. There was a bit of an iron fist on people, but no one that didn't fight back was hurt. They all stayed. Ironically, it's kind of what started the town's growth.
Was it difficult to reclaim the town?
Well, any military endeavor comes with quite some trial, but their leader had been drawn back up north to his own place of origin, Uprails, by a group and their army, one that Drake was a part of, in fact. They clashed in the north. Cyrus fell, as did his men, and there was a bastion remaining here. We had our own force and seized the opportunity. It was a hard-fought battle. But
I see.
wouldn't have been able to do it had their main force still been here.
I gathered. It ended up working out in a weird, twisted way. Well, before we get into war stories that you actually enjoy telling, I've got one last question. And it's a bit of a long shot, so I don't even know if this person's alive, and I don't remember too much of their defining features, but there was a man, I can't even remember, his race too well, just that he had, like, really intense mutton chops and sideburns. I remember that. And he was a bit younger, kind of looked to be about my aide, quote unquote, he's part of the Diamond Bloods. Do you know? I'm sure you're guessing what I'm alluding to. He's the only person I'm super keenly interested in as part of the Diamond Bloods. Is their name? If you recognize this super vague description.
I think I see what you're alluding to. There wasn't anyone of that description who was counted among the bodies we took the town. It's possible he went back up north with his boss, and fell there, or it's entirely possible he survived the whole matter and continued on with the Diamond Bloods as they would become later.
I see. Thank you.
I'm not sure as to their personnel, unfortunately, but he wasn't here when we took the keep.
Well, I suppose that brings some semblance of comfort. Thank you. I don't honestly expect him to be alive, though.
If he is, he'd be about my age. And most men my age don't exactly keep a fighting arm.
No.
Grins to himself, kind of like a, haha, I'm so old. But then, like, anyway, I'm sure you're curious about a bit more than that. I know your companions were interested in the jeweled hands and their own connection to the Diamond Bloods. I believe that's more Miss Himia's area of expertise than it is mine. So I'll let you take that away. Just as soon as your friend V stops spacing out, speaking about giving a cat medicine. Our lovely Evie is currently BRB'd, so wait to continue to the parts that might be relevant to Evie until they're back. Currently giving cats a cat medicine.
So we've been speaking about the Diamond Bloods this whole time, but what of the jeweled hand?
We're just about to talk about that.
Mhm.
We're just waiting on Evie.
I know. I was just hoping that we can talk about while we wait, just talk about the parts that Chung Sui would also. Maybe I don't know if there's anything that only applies to Chung Sui, because I imagine it also applies to Evie.
Yeah. Could potentially.
Do you know
apply to
anything
both.
about a magician, a traveling magician? Was he cited at all with the Diamond Bloods?
Himia kind of blinks a few times, and I feel like we had this conversation yesterday.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were talking to
We're both
Rorik.
here.
Yeah, I know they're both here.
Mhm.
I was asking Rorik if he's seen anyone.
I don't keep my eyes too focused on matters of magic, unfortunately. It's out of my wheelhouse a bit. Much as most entertainment is. I'm a bit too busy. But I don't believe I've cited any magician, as the word would call it, with the Diamond Bloods. They have casters, of course, but no one I would describe as a magician, particularly.
A prestidigitator,
Yes.
a trickster, a scoundrel, a fiend.
Scoundrels, certainly. Fiends, perhaps. Tricksters, assuredly. But I don't think, perhaps, one matching who you're looking for.
Chung Sui sighs and sips more of her drink that's in her ball.
You don't even need a sippy cup. You just lean your head down.
I am the sippy cup.
Ha ha ha. But yeah, there's certainly many casters amongst their numbers. Well, as many could mean, that is, for a group of ruffians. They have a few here and there. You could imagine most of their units are outfitted with one. But I'm sure that won't be something that you can't overcome. You yourselves have some casters. I believe I'm looking at 2. And from the looks of things, you had 2 others. So that should be more than enough to counter their own magical might, and hopefully to track down this magician you're searching for. I take it he has something to do with the ball situation. Inclines an eyebrow.
What we seem.
Quite. Have you ever heard of any spells quite like that, Lady Lane? I know you weren't a caster when last we met, so I don't quite expect you to...
Turning someone into a ball or removing their head, or...
Yes.
I'll recall knowledge, but I don't think so. But I'll see.
As you think back, or peer into the knowledge granted up to you by the Scarlet Star, you have a bit of a time thinking of all this, but do call to mind the knowledge that there are spells that can kind of facilitate more of these kind of magical tricks, and, you know, making it seem as though a head has been removed from a body quite easily, and as well that, you know, an illusion perceived to be real is no different than reality. You know that. You even know that if you conjure an illusion of a bridge that no one perceives as an illusion, they can walk across the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
But clearly what's happening with Shang Sui is not an illusion. You can tell that much. And it is not entirely clear what has transpired. You think perhaps you have an inkling that if someone were to find a way to alter the weave in such a way that could change an illusion into being truly real rather than perceived, there is very few limits as to what one could do regarding physical form.
Sorry, I was eating candy and now my throat's all sticky.
That's in
Well,
character.
Yeah, she's been sitting there shoveling high chews into her mouth.
That's true.
Ooh, what flavor?
Grape,
Delicious.
They're so
the
good.
best one.
I have blueberry.
Oh. Well, I don't know that there's a specific spell for, you know, beheading someone or bisecting them and allowing life to sustain separated in such a way. There are illusions that, when perceived to be real, for example, perhaps like a fire on a table, and if everyone were to believe it real, it might hurt them or burn them, or there's like the bridge thing that everybody talks about. I digress. There's that. But it wouldn't do this unless somebody was able to alter it to such an extreme that it does become real. You no longer have to believe it, but it does it. That kind of power would be quite limitless. And you, I imagine, would have to be a very talented magical person. That's all I can think of. I'm sorry.
A very powerful bastard indeed. Shang Sui angrily stares at the air as if shaking a fist.
Was the wizard or the magician you worked with, did you know him to have such powers?
Of course not. I knew that he had tricks up his sleeve in the way that he cut me apart, but nothing to the extent of this. At most, the enchantment he cast would last a few hours for the trick, but I had no idea he was powerful enough to, in all our years traveling together, he had never showed any sort of power as this.
If you don't mind me asking, what was your relationship with him like before he did this? It sounds like you were working together for a little bit at least.
I don't think I'm drunk enough to answer that question right now.
That's fair. I'm not one to pry.
You see Himia kind of raise an eyebrow and kind of take a slow sip of a drink.
Lane tries to not smirk at her from across the table.
Shang Sui rolls her eyes and then dunks her head into the drink so far that some of it gets up her nose.
Just goes face down in and opens her eyes to get alcohol seeped in through there too.
Oh my god. Just injected into your body at this point. Oh wait.
Yeah.
The kinds of things you don't realize you have to be worried about saying when someone's just ahead.
Yeah.
Like the opposite of a Doulahan.
Yeah. I'm literally the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Hanadul.
Well, that's lore now.
That's lore.
That's lore now. Yep. Whole
It
new
sounds
word.
real. It doesn't even sound like fake made up. It took me a
Right?
brief moment to realize.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we're perfect. We're ready to go. It's exactly it. Do.
Well, Himia, I'm so curious about how you got into all this subterfuge business.
Well, this is not me stalling because I know this, but I'm just like I can't speak. Make noises. Bleh. She'll say, well, I kind of needed some information back when it was all going down. Details about their numbers and layout of how things had changed, and I was kind of the main point of contact there. I kind of forced myself into the position. And especially when the Lord got kidnapped, I needed to find out where he was, so I went to the Hand for information and training.
Oh my god, are you part of the Jeweled Hand?
Was?
Is that an organization you even leave? You can leave? You don't sound like a blood contract to be a part of them.
You can pay off to become an inactive member.
Shang Sui raises her head out of her drink and glares at Himia.
They are good at information, and we needed it, and I needed skills, and they had them, and now I have them. I don't feel like it's a problem.
Well, I mean, perhaps I can't judge you. I'm kind of too dead to help. So, sorry.
So
It's
is
out in the air
this
now.
where you saw the man? Is this where you saw the magician?
No, I mean, maybe. I saw stuff regarding him just, when I was on a trip into another city on some diplomatic errands for the Lord. It was recent.
Wait, so you were with the Jeweled Hand, or you saw him recently?
Yep.
Or did you see him while you were with the Jeweled
I
Hand?
saw him recently. I was with the Jeweled Hand well, up until about 5 years ago.
Okay. But while you were the jeweled hand, you never saw the magician.
I don't believe so. It
Chansui
doesn't-
clicks her tongue, trying to
does-
think of like how to track this man now.
Again, I did see him with some old colleagues back when, I was with them. People I knew from about those days. Recently, it was backstage at one of his shows. They were, chatting. Seemed to be getting along pretty well. All buddy-buddy.
And these people, these old friends you mentioned, they're still with the jeweled hand?
They ought to be. Again, I haven't been on active duty, but they were pretty deep in and didn't really seem to be interested in paying that off.
Names! Give me names, woman!
Okay. I mean, you don't gotta pull my arm.
Chansui is drunk, okay?
There was Black Eye Bill and Sally.
Just Sally?
Just Sally. She liked to keep it incognito. Black Eye Bill did not like to keep it incognito. Just so you know, he doesn't have a black eye. That would be weird if he had a black eye all the time. He liked to give people black eyes.
Got it.
Bit of a bruiser. But, yeah. They're the ones I saw talking to him. They're, he's an enforcement. Well, I'm sure you can kind of gather that. And she's an art trade.
Chansui thinks to herself. She's never heard of these people, but it gives her some more leads.
Well, perhaps we could use your connection to the jeweled hand in the future. Your loose connection.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was gonna
They
send off.
better be loose.
Oh,
At this point, at least.
hey, you just gotta thank me for keeping their involvement out of Quran, huh?
Yes. Well, thank you for that much at least.
And yeah, I was gonna send off a letter to Bruham, where you guys are stopping off next, to some old pals, and hopefully that'll not go down the drain.
Fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Things have been interesting the past few weeks.
I'll be vague about what you need, but I mean, if you're willing to do a bit of work or toss some coin around, they're pretty well willing to work with you, even if it goes against a little bit of their interest of a different client. Depends if you can offer more value for them, basically.
Oh, I feel like we're getting tossed from one task to the next task to the next. When I heard about adventurers as a little girl, I didn't imagine this. Granted, I also was not interested in becoming one, and I still am not. I'm just forced into it currently.
Well, I guess every member of the household has got to go through it then. Just your turn came a couple years later.
Rite of passage. Welcome to Quran.
Where the
Took a gone to the
where a whole noble household and their staff has to turn to adventuring at one point or another.
We'll give Ginger a pass.
Give Ginger a pass. Lord Galen's surprisingly good with a sword, though.
I noticed he'd become less willowy.
Well, only a little.
What kind of sword was he using? A
a
toothpick?
longsword.
Oh!
Yeah, no, he is better at, finding gaps in the way people fight. He's really observant. Less so about stabbing strong, more just, precise, smart.
Interesting. Well, I'll have to talk to him still. I feel like I saw him once, and then I almost feel like I'm being avoided. Probably because he's super busy and not at all because of, motions to her head area.
Well,
It looks like V's present again.
yeah.
waves a hand in front of V's face.
Blinks, blinks, blinks.
Well, I know you had some questions about the hand as well. I know we had our chat the other day, but is there anything that you didn't get filled in on a little bit here while we were having this chat?
Was I aware also that Hemio was part of the Jeweled Hand?
No.
You would have just become
Yeah,
aware.
I was wondering that. She kind of is like dead stare, just like, when we had our chat, you didn't actually tell me you were part of this organization.
I usually like to leave the subtext hidden between the lines rather than on them, but better to be forthright with the good lady. Kind of gives a cheeky grin.
Yes, I suppose it is. Gritted teeth. I
I don't see why it's such a big deal personally. Kind of shrugs, takes another sip of a drink.
am being gaslit. um, but yeah, she'd just be like, I know you said you were going to contact or attempt to get in contact with anyone who could help me with my issue. Did you happen to do that?
I only just found out where you guys were heading next, so not yet. But
Yes, that's true.
I'm gonna be sending that letter off here soon. And, well, probably wait until you guys are back here so there's an actual time estimate on the thing instead of them just being like, well, at some point, but, soon. But I'll be making sure they know what it is you're after and what it is you're after. I point to Shang Tsui and V, respectively. You're looking for a person, and you're looking for a magic person. One should be a little easier to track down than the other, but, well, there's only so many people that disappear under mysterious circumstances that they'll be dealing in. Might mean they're a little more tight-lipped about it, though.
Well,
He's just sitting here looking between the Shang Tsui and be like, what the fuck kind of conversations have y'all been having with my former bestie?
Shang Tsui is pretty drunk at this point and starts like rolling slightly off the chair.
helps. Reaches out but is not close.
Blaine just picks her up, puts her in her lap.
The liquid in the orb sloshes
Sloshing.
around.
Just the
Picturing the
fumes.
fushigis.
You can feel the coolness of the liquid in the glass
Mhm.
on your lap. It's
The-
not wet. It's just you can feel the
It's cool.
condensation. Yeah.
Like holding a
It
glass
is
of
cool.
a very, very large glass of wine in my.
It's very classy.
Yeah.
Don't drink out of me though. Only out of me.
I'm good. That seems like intimate
Don't drink
relationship.
out of
I'm-
me.
Dot, dot,
Drink out of
dot,
their head orb.
dot,
Blaine's
dot,
not
dot,
into
dot,
that.
dot, dot. Belly shots?
No. You don't have a belly.
Boom.
It's the
Headshot.
closest thing.
Headshot? Uh-huh.
Yeah. Shang Tsui is starting to fall asleep because
Yeah.
she is just way too drunk from all the
Liquid.
drink in her orb.
Absolutely.
Blaine's absent-mindedly just like as if patting her head, but patting the top of the horse.
Patting the orb.
Gorb.
Shang Tsui is too drunk to talk back and to speak out against being patted.
Mm-hmm. In any case, missing person and a magician. It shouldn't be that hard to get a little bit of information, and should I make sure to include what you guys are willing to provide some value?
No, if it'll help everybody in the long run, I don't see why not.
It's mostly what they're interested in. Look, they're not good people, but they're not evil either. You know, just kind of self-interested.
Immoral.
Yeah, pretty much.
Seems to be a bit of a running theme today.
Hmm.
Not good, but not bad, but not evil. But proceed with caution.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you wish things could be black and white sometimes? Just like
All the time.
there was a mustache twirling villain in a trench coat around the corner, but you could just beat up and send to jail, or put a knife in.
Would we be the good people if we're beating someone up?
Well, if they're like, I don't know, killing people and turning them into like monsters, probably.
Winces. A bit too close to our current quest.
A butterfly appears on the corner of the screen. Lane will remember that.
Well, yeah. I just, hope your family doesn't have much to do with all that situation.
Me as well.
Maybe it's just spilling bees beans.
I love it.
Maybe has no reason to believe that Lane and Shang Tsui don't know this.
Like, it's just sitting here like, don't react. Don't react.
Anyway, we should probably start turning in, and you guys can get off
Yes.
to your whole business tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll hold down the fort, and if things go south, don't fight to the death. Please.
That's not the plan at all. Trust me. I'm not entirely sure I can die. At least, I think I can, but I think my patron would just be like, I'm not done with you. I'm gonna shut up now.
That's not comforting.
No.
Okay. Well, on that note, I am going to go to bed.
Good night. It's your fault I use humor to cope.
I have no idea what you just said.
It's your fault I use humor to cope.
I thought it was my fault you used alcohol to cope, she says
That too.
as she walks out the door.
He's just kind of sitting there awkwardly. Glances at me. So, human experiments? Magical monsters?
Feel as though I shouldn't be here.
Good night, Rorik. It's time for girls' talk.
Good night.
Good night, Rick.
Good night, Rick. Sorry, your son is a vigilante. I'm trying to be. Lane just kind of looks over. Oh, there's my fucker. There he is. Hello, my little guy.
called a bird?
Little man. Little
That's a
creature.
type of bird.
Little fucker.
Yeah,
Little
exactly.
titmouse or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, they're very rare.
Why do so many birds have the word tit in their name?
Why did you write Snorb?
Snorb.
Girl
Oh, girl
orb,
snail
and then,
orb?
and then snail orb, and then skisnorb.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
didn't see
I'm
the
drunk,
rest of the
okay?
Take me
I
to
didn't see
Snurch.
the rest of the No!
Take me to Snurch.
Snail
No.
Church.
Assuming Shang Tsui is like passed out in this
Yeah.
ball, Layla kind of like glanced at me awkwardly, and she just kind of shrugs. We don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but just be careful with what you're getting into. I think is what I'm supposed to say. I'm not entirely sure. The context was weird.
She kind of like drums her fingers on the table and she's like, I suppose it's not anything that's worth hiding. It's size.
Shang
I
Tsui
am-
snores. Snorb.
Snurf! Shut up.
It's her in-character snoring. It's not making fun of you, okay?
It's RP.
I'm picturing the ball as like amplifying it really weirdly.
It's like an echo.
Yeah.
Like that time your dad fell asleep
Yeah.
on my grandma's couch and the snoring was loud enough that I thought Flower was gonna murder him. Like my cat was like getting ready to pounce.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So I reminded
If
that.
anyone
No.
has a dad snore, it is him. um, um, but yeah, she kind of drums her fingers on the table and she's just like, I'm worried that my family may be involved in bad things. I've always suspected it. Since a rather unfortunate incident that caused my leaving home. Well, hopefully this information will shed some light.
Link kind of tilts her head curiously, but oh, I see. I knew you didn't. I could gather you didn't have the best relationship with your family, but that clears some things up. They weren't trying to like the context. You'll forgive me. They weren't trying to like turn you into a weird monster, right? The dual hand that apparently can do that. Apparently.
She kind of just like shrugs and just like she looks very bitter and like kind of looks away.
Sorry, I didn't mean to pry.
Sorry, hold on real quick.
Holding.
Daisy?
The holding is incredibly fast.
Letting go, actually.
Snapping.
Miss, who's been quiet for a good minute, popping in with that.
Holding. Holding.
Just
Giving up.
Okay, sorry.
vibing.
What was the last thing that was said?
She said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pry.
And she kind of just like sighs a little bitterly, and she's like, "No, it's all right. I suppose it's only fair. You all shared your secrets. I should at least well share a little, right? They didn't try to turn me into anything, so much as I suspect they may have hurt someone. I used to know. I don't have proof, but
Sorry.
I should add that to the playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just kind of looks a little like 1,000-yard starey, like she's remembering. I worry that they may have hurt someone I used to know, and I don't have proof about it, but I'm hoping that maybe whatever information Himiya finds will shed some light. If they actually did.
I certainly hope they didn't, but I'm glad you were able to make a connection with Himia. She's a very dear friend to me. I know the dual 10 thing probably makes her seem less trustworthy, but it makes me trust her more, actually. If she's untrustworthy, she wouldn't have just said it. And
Exactly.
she's also, you know, when I first moved here, she helped us all. So I'm glad she's helping you, and I hope she can indeed shed some light on the situation. Sorry. Look over and see my bird's head just peeking out
I
of
heard
the
the
food.
chirping.
She's just half in the food bowl.
Me.
You've gotta send the picture you sent to the other chat to the
Oh,
general.
I had meant to
here.
send it to this chat, and then it just...
They are so stinking cute.
I love them.
But yes. Thank you for sharing, by the way. I know it's been a lot of all of our tea being spilled today.
Well, it's a secrets day, yes?
Secrets Day. Wednesdays are Secrets Days.
We'll mark that on the calendar.
Well, it's Wednesday again. Does anyone have any secrets?
So
I like birds.
I
You're
would
a
not have
secret.
assumed that.
Just like, I took your last cheese stick. Yeah, if there's more to that conversation, of course, keep going. Otherwise, we can shuffle onwards.
Laying
Yeah.
down on
Shangshui is asleep. I am
Yeah, I
also
think-
very eepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's let the
Secrets
other
are being
characters
revealed by
somehow.
little bit.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's got a foot in the door at this stage.
I don't have any feet. How dare you?
Well, you
A
know,
symbolic foot in the door.
you got an eye on things.
And who
I
knows,
got my head
wherever
in the
your
game.
wherever your foot is, maybe it's in the door.
It could be.
True.
Maybe it's being used as a doorstop.
The
That would be
next
awful.
clue you have is going to be of your foot in the door.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, how dare you disrespect my feet that way?
Me when
Sorry.
feet. Oh no.
Connie when feet.
Mm.
I thought that was Chloe.
No,
Oh,
listen,
that's-
it's Connie now. Connie's the
No,
person now.
it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm the furry, all right? We've been over this.
Yeah, no, that's
like a
true.
So you're
Bingo
next.
card.
Right? Speaking of Connie, yeah, let's switch over to what those guys are up to.
Yeah, what is Arla and such up to? Is there anything happening with Arla during this evening?
Romantic escapades.
Like I said, she was having some emotions. She
Yeah.
went to go clear her head and then went to go to sleep.
Yep,
Relatable.
absolutely. Yeah. That makes sense to me. If there's any RP along with that, it sounds like no, but
Not really off the top of my head. No.
yeah. Sounds like a plan then. And with everyone going their own way after the night, at some point or another, y'all will retire for the evening and awaken before, getting all of your preparations done, gathering together, and heading out towards.
I'd like to have a scene with Kaylin, but given that Toto's tired, we can just revisit that next session. That would be great because I don't
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah,
keep her up anymore.
I was planning on getting us basically to adventure location and then wrapping up there.
I mean,
But
you
if there
guys can
is-
have conversations
Yeah.
while I'm gone. Like, Shangsui can be asleep for that anyway, so she wouldn't hear it.
If we did wanna do that conversation, it doesn't sound like it's something that'll take a especially long time. So we can do that and then do our
Yeah.
little wrap up.
I feel bad. I've had so many
No,
scenes
it's fine.
today, so I just feel bad.
You're good.
You and Kaylin are my reality show. I love you guys.
Thanks.
All right, give me a minute here. Let me-
Yeah, let's give Saki and Arla some time to do stuff.
Mhm. As soon as they, but yeah, we'll get that done, and I'll be sure to move us over. Oh, there's 2 lanes on that map.
There's 2 of me.
There's 2 of you. Let's just find. I want to just. Now let's. Sorry, I'm just moving things around a little bit. Just to get a good room for.
Haro tells V the secrets of the universe.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks.
It's all in Spanish.
Can you tell me the lotto numbers?
Yes, it's all
Are
in
they also
Spanish.
Spanish?
Mhm. Absolutely. He tells you the Spanish lotto numbers for real world Spain.
I cry.
Hmm. So then, final order of the night, as things are now more set up for. Callan and Elaine.
Yay! Again, I'm so sorry. There's so many scenes. I'm sorry. This is probably like the morning before they wrap up
Mhm.
to go. She'll like find him.
Yeah.
There you are. I was looking everywhere for you. This place. Did it get bigger? I feel like it got bigger.
There was a bit of an upsize when the previous inhabitants were here. But
That makes sense.
yes. Sorry, I've been preoccupied.
That's all right. I figured as much. Not like that wasn't abnormal before.
No, that's true.
Bit of a strange question. I wanted to ask if you perhaps sent word to my mother's of my return.
I've not. Would you prefer that I...
No, please don't. That's what I came to ask is, I don't really know what's going to happen going forward. It's rather embarrassing, really, but I'd never intended for any of you to find out, if I'm being honest. At least not right away, at least not now, in the situation, because I don't know if, say, I'm going into all these dangerous battles and chasing after zombies, and now my brain stopped working because I got distracted by chat and how cute my birds are. Or revolutionaries or cultists, or I don't know at this point. What I'm saying is I could die, and I was really going to send a letter. I've kind of been sent on task after task after task and hardly had a moment to really, kind of sit down and absorb everything that's happened. And so when I did, I wrote letters to you and Hemia, and I was going to send them, and first of all, that would have been awful. Now that I think about it, how cruel would that have been? Like a letter from me, and it would have felt like a prank, I'm sure.
Would have been quite a surprise. Certainly one we wouldn't have expected.
I just don't want anyone to go through it again,
Well, then see that they don't.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if, even if I survive all of this, if I get to keep being alive. I don't know if, when I complete what my patron wants of me, if I'm going to simply be returned to the way I was before. I don't know. And I wanted to avoid that risk as much as possible with you and with Hemia and the people I care about. And my mother's already struggled so much to have a child. And I know that they're in a great deal of pain because of what happened. And as much as I would love to see them and let them know that I'm all right, I cannot risk that happening. And then I die again.
If that's a concern, that's after whatever is done, that you'll not be permitted to stay, then we'll just have to find a way around that, won't we?
He kind of swallows hard, that kind of swallow you do when you're fucking memes. You do when you're like trying not to be emotional. And she's like twisting the ring on her finger. Yes. On that note, also, she kind of like steps closer and like kind of pulls the ring off and kind of holds it out to him. I am not allowed to stay right now. And it's not fair of me to expect that I get to stay in the position that I'm in. And thus I am not fulfilling the role that we had originally agreed upon. I don't think I can keep this ring. And the title and the connections and the everything that comes with it.
Be it whether you're here or elsewhere, or beyond, you wore that ring for as long as we were wed, and I felt that was very dear to me. Not as a romantic partner, as I know you're aware, but as my dear friend. And I would not deprive my friend of a gift once given, nor a title. As far as the townsfolk know and are happy, their lord is merely widowed and unwilling to take a new partner. It's the only reason we were wed in the first place, was to appease that sort of talk. So as far as I'm concerned, you are fulfilling that task with aplomb.
She kind of like slides the ring back on, looking relieved. Well, in that case, I'm happy to continue being the mysterious red-headed figure that is probably like I can be a ghost or something. I don't know. I don't like emotional bullshit. Sorry.
Well, never was a strong suit of either of us, I think.
No, I think it's why this all works.
Now, that said, on your way. Isn't that what you'd prefer? Just a quick, off and be done with it sort of thing? Kind of gives an awkward smile.
She kind of steps in and gives like a polite hug. Almost knowing that would make him more awkward.
I'll do what reading I can into this patron of yours. I don't have the resources that the mages of other cities might, but I've quite some tomes over the years and can send somewhat around as a lord of one of the larger cities.
Yeah, then you could drown in the amount of books that are in their libraries, and actually a hazard. I think Saki was lost in there for like a day and a half.
Oh, they got their way out, didn't they? I don't
She
think
did.
there's quite enough books in there. In fact, could do with some more. I'm going to order a few.
Oh dear. Well, I pity the poor maid. I know her personally, who has to dust all these books every day.
Well, at least she's busy.
Good, keep her that way. I worry about her when she's not.
When she's not, she drinks.
Exactly. And it's a bad habit she's imparted onto me that I am not willing to fight right now.
Fair enough.
I digress. I will go and do my best to avoid repeating instances of the past. And
rely on your friends.
oh, I do. I can't take a hit for shit. So they'll do that, and I sit back and look pretty and cast spells, and then whenever all the fighting's done, I magically know how to sew them up now. It's intriguing, really.
Huh.
Did you know that the term for bruise is a subdural hematoma, essentially?
I did know that, but I would be surprised that you did know that.
Exactly, that's what I'm talking about.
Strange.
Well, you take care. I don't know when I'll be back, but I do intend to come back. Perhaps dragging a screaming raven if I must. Although he's my dear friend. Don't let him know I said that. I intentionally left him outside the doors.
see that you come back and bring perhaps a screaming 19-year-old back with you as well if you can.
I intend to.
No.
I don't want to see him any harm done to him.
Well.
Or anyone if I can avoid it.
Well, then that's that then. I'll
Fantastic.
not take any more of your time.
She kind of gives a smile and like steps down and starts walking away. And as she doesn't even look back at when she's like, "Oh, and please take out to eat once in a while."
Kind of lazy wave in your direction.
She'll head on out.
Non-committal. And yeah, you all gather up and acquire the map from Rorik and begin your trek out towards the
When
I can't talk.
when Saki is found on
Mhm.
in the library, she is lying like back on the ground, just arms out, staring at the ceiling, and just sort of mumbling to herself about how there's so many books in the library, but none of them have like any important information. Like they're all just there for show, like for a noble to have a, you know, an expensive showy library.
Yeah, a lot of what you've read in here, and perhaps you've not read every tome, right? But it's a lot of historical documents that denote, you know, well-known events in excruciatingly boring detail. And so-and-so begat Henrik, who begat so-and-so.
Yeah.
Lots of language books too.
Yeah, language books, many. And you know, some books on more like theory of various kinds. There's some bestiaries around, there's some magic tomes, but you know, nothing that you wouldn't find in your kind of standard like bookstore or magical grimoire collection.
Yeah, nothing that she hasn't probably
nothing that
seen
someone in
before at the
Saki's
very
profession
least.
hasn't seen before, certainly. And probably at some point during this, the Lord would have like found you in the library, right? And like, are you satisfied with the collection at all, or you don't?
It's meager.
Is there kind of looks almost like not fully taken aback, but certainly like a little, right? Let me move us over to the library where you guys are on the second floor here. Is there any specific areas of knowledge you'd be looking for? Not all of my books are in the library, you see.
I guess it's hard to say. I'd prefer things of the occult or arcane, but many of these are just information that I have already written down, or at least read before. Her sort of usual long pauses are dragged out as he sort of realizes the bags that have sort of formed under her eyes the last couple nights of being here.
Yeah. The bulk of my collection broaches as wide a body of topics as it can, as it is befits a lord, especially one of my age. I'm in my 15th decade. Kind of shakes his head of like, ugh, I'm in my 30s kind of look. And it's expected of me to know things, and I rather like that. Though if you are looking for occult things, it's not exactly my personal forte. I've never had a talent for magic, but I do have a private collection of books that are more interesting, I think. And I'd be happy to allow you to peruse some of those tomes, given your relationship with my wife.
My wife.
My wife.
My way. Perhaps when I return, I would enjoy taking a look at those. And she sort of looks out the window and realizes that it is like the morning now. It's like, I suppose it is time to leave.
I believe so. I'll make sure to gather any occult and arcane tomes I can find.
Much obliged. And she gets up off the ground. How like, I guess like big is Kalen, like height sort of build?
Height wise, he's fairly tall. He's of elven descent. You can tell he's clearly more kind of wood elf. He's tall enough. Probably like around, a little under 6 foot, probably. So tall. And his form doesn't seem incredibly sturdy, you don't think? But in the same breath, you can tell he is probably about as live as he is strong, which is surprisingly so. He moves with a surprising amount of grace for someone as bookish as he looks, and perhaps if you've seen him like organize his collection, which I'm sure you probably have, as he's been in here, as you've been for the last few days, the kind of like stacks of books he walks away with are impressive, Not certainly as many as you could carry, but not that far off.
Yeah, the only reason I ask is I was just getting a good look at the portrait and like thinking like, man, I want to shove this guy in a locker.
So
like,
fair.
Lane already leave him alone. Lane does it. Lane did it probably a couple times. I don't.
You should want to shove him in a locker. Look
Walking
at him.
by a closet, she just hip bumps him into it.
That's much more me than Saki is. Saki sort of stands up to height and still looking slightly down at him. It's like I bows slightly to his, to him. I appreciate the gesture and look forward to what you're able to scrounge up.
Hopefully it's at least something a little more interesting than the open collection up here. He kind of nods and then goes back to looking through the books for something to read that he has assuredly read before. And yeah, we'll fade out on that as we fade back in on the party arriving at the camp they were given the map for, as night begins to fall and fireflies light up the night sky. And that is where we kind of, on this shot of them kind of sitting outside of his camp as things are starting, as we see like a few, not a large number, but a few individuals dotted about the camp, kind of milling about, a fire lit. And that's where
Bro eats 7 fireflies.
That makes sense. Exactly 7.
See, me and Connie are looking at the same thing.
I was like narrowing my eyes at it for like a solid minute.
I just saw your cursor also fly over it, and I was like,
Yeah?
that's a fucking dinosaur.
Yeah, is that, you're looking at the Deinonychus? Yeah.
He looks like Kuluyaku with a little egg. Oh, baby.
Yeah. there is, in the group that you see, there's an orc. Far in the back, there's a hobgoblin stood near a knoll in blackened robes. And near the orc is, in fact, a medium-size, kind of like similar size, kind of thinner but taller than Fluffy, scaled and feathered creature stood on 2 hind legs, large claws. What some people would recognize as a foreign animal, certainly, but a Deinonychus, a great beast. And yeah, that is where we will fade out for this session before we get into potential all sorts of bullshit.
All sorts of bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That's our theme song.
All sorts of bullshit.
All sorts of bullshit.
If you ever do animate one day, you should just sing that with like a ukulele or something and animate all of us in like chibi font.
God,
Oh,
I
I
wish
even
I
did
could.
chibi. I'm just ahead.
Chibi head.
Chibi hit. Oh my goodness. Good session. My birds are very cute. I'm sorry. This is
Oh,
bad.
you've been able
This is
to
bad
focus
that they're
on
here. It's like, look at them.
Daisy
Stupid
is so
little-
small. I will have to see if I can remember to slap a like tiny URL to the picture and like the description or something. But yeah.
Just looking over, see your little wretched little claw over the edge.
Little creature. Yeah. I keep saying but yeah and then getting distracted by my own brain.
Fair.
Thank you guys for coming along and playing. It's been a few RP sessions in a row, but tomorrow, potential for some shit to go sideways, perhaps.
Yay.
Gonna hit
Yum.
something with my stick.
You're a stick,
Yay.
giant stick.
I'm gonna suck their blood. No.
What?
That's a
Raise
Raise my
twist.
eyebrow.
I didn't know Lane was a
Surprise.
vampire.
Surprise! I'm actually a vampire, guys.
Damn.
Oh, I love. Wait, yes, Connie, the book you posted is actually where I got his name from.
Yes!
I love that. I'm a huge fan.
Harrow the bird.
This is great. I'm saving this on my phone.
That's perfect.
That's great. Right. I'm a big
Alright,
fan.
everyone.
All right.
Thank you guys for coming along. Bye
autism.
bye.
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 Bye bye.